What's up, YouTube?
What's up? Oh, no.
How's it going, guys? All right, we're getting everything set up.
Wait.
Hold
I'm
on.
ready.
Wait.
I'm ready.
He's ready.
Mr. Richmond's here.
Mr. Richmond.
Richie McRichmond.
Saw, dude.
Oh my God. Perfect.
I like how those just randomly showed up and we're like, yeah, we'll just use that every week.
Now it's literally been every week.
Good podcast prop.
Yeah, I don't know how that ended up happening.
It's a vibe.
But it is. All right, so let's see. So for the topics, here's what I got.
Man, we don't have no props, no nothing.
Oh yeah, we don't, man. It's a blank looking table.
But
Perfect.
we can find stuff.
There you
So,
go. One little American flag chalk.
I don't even think they could see it.
That's for no.
Maybe. Zoom in.
Oh jeez. All right, so
Oh,
I've
man.
got for the intro, and then I've got, let's see, uneventful, for the most part, uneventful race, lots of
Yeah,
pit
pretty much.
penalties, good day for RFK and SHR, talk about the track or versus Aero or what we think might be the issue with the track, about it, not about it, talk about Xfinity going to CW, and then Kuzman and Friends question of the week.
I got
and then,
one.
And then that's it. That's what we got. Not a
I think-
lot.
I think
There's
that's
not
it.
a lot.
What's your intro?
A long, mostly caution-free Richmond race has ended, and Chris Buescher has won his first race of the year and locked himself into the playoffs. I mean,
That's fine. Yeah,
that's
I think that works.
basically kind of wraps everything up.
What was once a fishing, a boat racing.
Chris
According to
Buescher, Chris Buescher wanted to turn
Future
this
plans
track
for
into,
Richmond are not anymore
yeah.
a voting area.
So let's
Our
see.
first weekend without rain.
Woo! Oh my gosh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess Pocono didn't have rain, did it?
It did rain at the track.
Well, it pushed the ARCA race back. That
Yeah.
counts.
Close enough.
I'm pretty sure it rained after the ARCA race, though. Like between the
Didn't
ARCA
it?
race and the Xfinity race, like it rained there.
I don't know.
But it was like
I'm not a
a
weatherman.
5-minute shower.
Not a weatherman. I don't
We
know.
should definitely shout out blank DGR Racing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they did
Yeah.
really good this week.
Top 7th place, right? With
Think so.
Balicki?
Yeah.
Good
That's
run.
awesome. Yeah.
Good run.
So okay, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Here we go.
And away we go.
A long, mostly caution-free race in Richmond has ended, and Chris Buescher has won his first race of the year and locked himself into the playoffs. We are here for the speed. What's up, guys? My name is DJ. I'm with Here for the Speed. Thank you for those of you watching us on YouTube. Well, I guess you can't really watch us on the podcast, but watching us on YouTube at least. Thank you guys for being there. We appreciate you. And I am joined by...
Hello, everybody. My name
I
is
wanted to give it
Matthew.
to you since RFK won. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I
Your
mean,
local-
the wrong RFK driver won, but that's fair.
Local Chris Buescher fan.
Local Chris Buescher fan.
number 17. Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
then
should
I'll
have put the
pass
2
it.
car out on the table.
That'd be nice.
Oh,
yeah.
bummer.
I'll pass it over to...
My name's Jake.
That's it.
Otherwise known
Not
as
a-
Mr. Richmond this week.
Nah, not a huge fan of Richmond, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You
so...
were so excited for this race.
No, I don't ever remember saying that.
I gotta go. I did not have a chance to go back and look, but listen, but I'm pretty sure you did say you were looking forward to the next Richmond race.
You said it was by far the best Richmond race ever.
Okay, that's still pretty low standard. No, I think you know the real problem. The last couple of weeks, right? We had a Pocono, good race,
Yep.
drama at the end, and a fight. We had
Multiples.
big crashes, right?
Yep.
Not that we watched for big crashes, but you had that. That was serious impacts, right? And then we had Atlanta before that. Was it Atlanta? There was something in between
no, there
Atlanta.
was something in between.
Pokemon.
Kentucky? No,
No.
not Kentucky.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember. There was something
Matt?
in between.
You know what? I have a bad memory, so I'm just going to pull up that.
It was another good race. What the heck?
Okay. Anyway,
So we
continue.
had some mystery race in between Pocono and Atlanta.
New
then we had
Hampshire.
Atlanta. Yeah, and it was a pretty good race. And then you had
Atlanta, then Chicago,
Atlanta, Chicago. I mean, just the racing has been
Nashville.
really, really good.
and then Nashville before Chicago.
Well, Ross won, so of course that's going to be a great race. But I mean, we've since NBC has taken over, the races have been so good, and
Yeah.
you're on such a high that there was probably nothing really wrong with this Richmond race, but it was an average race, and with
Yeah.
it being an average race, it just takes you off of the high that we've been on.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
I think that makes it tough. Yeah. there was a lot of things because like I think there was good racing happening at points in the race. Like there was points I think me and Matt were talking about it where was it Larson and Hamlin or no, it wasn't Larson and Hamlin. It was Hamlin and somebody, and it took him like 4 laps to pass, and he was
it was Elliott.
Was it Elliott? I don't remember.
Someone.
There was a lot of great.
And there was a lot
racing.
of that where they were going back and forth.
It just took. I mean, they were able to pass on the outside, which I thought that was great at this track. That was really exciting to see. It wasn't just a 1-lane track; like there was multiple lanes.
Yeah, I thought
that you
like
could run
the tire they had was clearly. I think it's a good tire.
Worked out really well.
Yeah,
I
think
really
it's
good
a,
fall off.
I
if
think
you
it's
came
good.
in and got tires, you were able to drive back up to the front. I mean, it was so close. I mean, it just. I think it just comes down to the lack of cautions, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it allowed to see some really good strategy.
Yeah,
Martin Truex Jr. was doing a great job. Where did he finish?
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So
crazy.
he was running so bad in the beginning, man. But they played that strategy right. Got
sorry.
up front.
7th.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah.
I mean, the way they started the day, I mean, they said he
10th
fell
to
like
28th.
13 spots in the
Yeah.
first handful of
yeah,
laps
something
or whatever.
like that. Yeah.
And then
So,
was able to bring it back.
Definitely got that thing tuned up right and wait. I mean, I kind of like that strategy element. It was pretty good, but it did seem like
The race itself
one caution for incident.
That's it.
Yeah, and that was only just from Noah.
I mean, he hit everything. So him and Austin Dillon, man.
Yeah.
Let's see how many things we can hit. It's
The,
like the old cliche. They hit everything but the pace car.
Yeah, we were joking and saying that maybe someone called for an ordering of the pizza. For any of those fans that know what that means.
Yeah. Somebody definitely ordered a pizza.
Someone I think ordered a pizza, and the only thing I could think of was it was a Toyota. Because think about it,
Going to Toyota.
They're going to Toyota, and who was in second? Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin. How fast y'all want to be next year?
Right. So I don't know. The conspiracy tinfoil hats. We'll put them
I
away.
don't think it was that. I think they were just struggling.
It was at the end of the run. So yeah.
The 42 was struggling for front grip all day long. I mean, anytime he hit something, it was pretty much out of a corner where you're down front grip.
Yeah.
Inside hitting somebody on your outside or somebody in the corner.
Yeah.
And I will say, do you notice when cars were coming down pit road, how many cars had all the Goodyear rubbed off the right side tires?
Almost every one.
A bunch of them, man.
And almost every single one of them, you could see like the metal,
Damage.
the sheet metal, the sides of the car.
All the wrap all scrapped up.
I think they hit
scraped
the
up.
wall a lot more than what they showed on
think
TV.
probably.
Well, I mean, think about it. It was really hot there today. So obviously, I think that's probably going to play into it, right? Like slick probably makes it a lot. I mean, how many times were we watching? That shot where they show straight down the start-finish line, and we were seeing guys go through the start-finish line even sideways.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying they weren't even getting full throttle till start-finish line.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's good in some senses because, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was, the package, the short track package is, I think we got, at least at Richmond, it's a good tire compound. The cars, they can't go full throttle the whole time.
Hard to drive.
So it means that they're hard to drive. But we're still not seeing
I
as
think the
much
problem
passing.
I think we saw enough passing. I mean, top 10 is gonna be hard to pass in Cup Series. I mean, it's Cup Series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys aren't easy to pass. They know how to block. Chris Buescher was doing a phenomenal job blocking Denny Hamlin on that last restart. But I think it just comes down to if you at Richmond, this is a Richmond problem. If you miss a corner or you get loose, there's really no penalty. If you do get in the wall, it's typically not very hard.
Yeah.
You don't see brake failures.
No, yeah, that jumps back to look at the last 2 laps with Hamlin locks up the brakes going into turn 1.
Still got second.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
Yeah.
He locks up the brakes, misses the turn, comes
Way
back
up the
in,
track.
way up the track,
Yeah.
holds his place in line. Nobody could pass him, and he still finishes
Yeah.
second. Like any other track, I feel
Now,
like you'd be in 15.
If you do that in Martinsville, lock up the front. Yeah, I mean you're going to be in big trouble.
However, to be fair, those were, absolutely brand new tires. So that plays into it, and he's able to get on it a
it
little
comes
better.
down to
But everyone had
Richmond
them,
is so wide, and you can run the top. We saw people run against the wall. We saw
Larson
people
was
run
doing that a lot.
against the middle, and people running on the bottom. You saw them all over the place, and I think that's why if you miss the bottom and you slide up 2 lanes, you can still get a lot of good grip and make decent time up there on a rebound. It's like they talk about it in Martinsville now with the downshifting in Martinsville. If you get hit and you kind of get not out of shape, you just downshift, you grab that gear, and you just take off like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I don't want to say Richmond is like it's not a problem. It's just what the case is with Richmond. It's just how it is. You know. But I felt like again this was a lot better than I can remember Richmond in years past.
Yeah, you're getting the most out of Richmond right now.
Yeah.
You know
So,
what I mean?
I
As
think
the
they
track.
should try to figure
I
out
was gonna say.
a way to make that racetrack real slick. Like
Just
it
pour
has
oil
a
over it.
bunch
I was
of
gonna say
grip. Like the
ice.
tires get hot, they get greasy, they get slippery. But if you kind of miss the corner, there's no penalty, not much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Okay.
already.
So what we do is
They used to when
we put
Richmond
little
was the
spikes on
action track.
outside. It just
Right.
catches them and they stick there like Velcro.
If back in the day when Richmond was the action track and was so famous, and I mean it has a bunch of seats for a reason. It used to be
Yeah.
really, really phenomenal. They used to put sealer on the racetrack, and the racing was better. So like Dale Jr. talks about it, like they would run in that sealer, and as it wore off, you would change the lane chasing the sealer because the sealer's where the grip was.
Right.
So if you were out of the sealer, I mean you were wrecking sideways, and you couldn't run good. So it created.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no chance anybody spinning out by themselves today. We saw that at practice yesterday. We're like, this is going to be I mean, they're struggling for control, but it's a big wide corner. So
Right. They
you're
got
going to
room.
be a little sideways in the rear, but you're going to keep it going, and you're running super low air pressures, so you have a lot of grip if you get a little sideways.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know what the way they fix this race then is
I do.
without what?
I mean, you guys said it. Cut 100 laps off
Well, okay.
and take away one date.
Yeah.
And I think
Richmond,
I
in
think
my
you
opinion-
get rid of this date. I think you
I
run
would
this
I do
get rid
race.
of
too.
this one.
I
I'd
do
get
too.
rid of
Yeah.
the summer.
Because it's just not exciting enough as you're running down to this playoff cutoff. Think about the next couple weeks. Michigan, that should be a good
That
race.
should be really good.
You got
That's the one
2
Brad's
road
gonna win
courses. Watkins Glen might be hit or miss. It was okay last year. We'll see now that they've learned a bunch more about the cars and road courses. Might be a better race and no stage cautions.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
think
got
that'll help.
Indy, and Indy will either be a barn burner or it's going to be terrible, because it's all about turn 1. And if they get strung out at Indy, that race is
Yeah.
probably going to suck. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. But there's potential for these races to be really good. And then, of course, you go into Daytona, which that's going to be a fantastic race.
Especially being the cutoff.
Yes.
There's going to be so much.
There's no way that race isn't incredible,
Yeah.
especially after what we saw in Atlanta. I mean, the super speedway cars are getting way better.
Yeah.
They got a little more handling and speed. So it should be interesting. And it'll be a night race, so they'll have more grip
Yeah.
versus when they ran it in the daytime, and it was still phenomenal last year in the middle of the day at Daytona.
It was
Yeah.
just-
So FYI, we got Mark in the chat. We also have Ryan in there.
Hey,
They're
hey.
both saying change it to a night race.
It used to be a night race too, man.
Yeah. That could be. That would at least.
They left the night because the racing was getting boring, so they went to the day to try to get more heat and slick in the racetrack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think cutting 100 laps off.
I think that
I
would
think
help
that
a
would
lot.
help a lot.
Because it was 3.5 hours and there was almost no cautions.
Yeah, 3
Yeah, it's
cautions.
just-
That's brutal, man.
That's just a lot. That's a lot on the viewers, watching it, because it's just pretty continuous. You don't have a break, but same for the drivers. They don't have a break either. They're going
And it was
75,
135
60 to
degrees
70 laps
in the car. 135 in
I don't-
hitting.
I don't
and then you only
mind-
get 10 seconds to sit there for a second and catch your breath, and then you're right back to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a lot.
Y'all tell me what you think. I think you were able to walk away from this race during green flag and pretty much catch right up in like 5 minutes and know what's going on with strategy.
The
and
only
everything. Like,
the only thing
it
you were
wasn't
missing
like-
was the strategy.
like the
Who
Chicago
pit.
street course,
Oh,
bro. We
jeez.
didn't leave the couch. We were
Right.
locked.
Well,
Atlanta
we couldn't.
locked.
And
you
Atlanta,
know?
we couldn't either.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just not giving you that like when you watch. I hate to compare it to other sports, but when you watch, football, bro,
Yeah.
you gotta during your timeouts and things like that, your stage breaks, whatever.
Yeah.
That's when you walk away, get your drink, whatever. But like during the game time, nobody's getting up and walking away, especially not when it comes down to the fourth quarter, and it's a close game, which NASCAR has a close race every last quarter or stage.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I think look what reducing the race and the mileage did for Pocono.
I made it great. That was
I-
a great race.
I
Yeah, it's
was.
great.
So
But if you had another Pocono in like 3-4 weeks, you might feel differently. But it
I
wouldn't
think-
be the same because
I
it
would
used to
not.
be a 6-week span. I know you love Pocono.
It's a triangle, bro.
Triangle with 5 corners.
It's
Makes sense of
amazing.
that. But it's kind of like, I feel like if you made that, the absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing.
Yeah.
You gave it one date in
I
the
agree.
spring, and then think
I
about what
think-
you could do with that other date.
Yeah.
North Wilkesboro.
I think one
Nashville,
race fixes a
short
lot
track.
of problems for
Another
a lot of
Daytona.
tracks.
Yep.
I think there's certain tracks, you need to have 2 races at, but I think there's some tracks where one race, I mean, Pocono being probably one of the best examples, is we went from having 2 to 1, and we went from Pocono being to being fire.
Pocono was awesome.
And I would attribute that one to you've got one race. I mean, they sold out everything. The grandstands, they sold out the camping, the suites, everything. I would rather have, I mean, I don't know, I'm not in that business. But I would think it would make more sense to have you sell out one massive event than to have two that are kind of
Yeah, and if you're,
it's better for sponsorship. It's better for
who
vendors
owns
to come
Richmond?
in. Richmond is an
ISC?
independent. I don't remember who it is, but it's an independent owner. It's
Are you
not-
sure?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong, but I think it is an independent.
Because I thought it was Dover and Pocono.
Maybe.
But let's say you're ISC or you are SMI, the two companies that own almost all the racetracks. Take that date and go somewhere else in a market that's not
it is-
oversaturated.
Just some guy, Joseph Matoli.
Really?
Matoli, yeah.
So
it's independently
okay,
owned.
so if you're independent, then you're gonna fight for your dates.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't know. If you're NASCAR as a whole, go get in a different market that's not oversaturated. Or if it is an oversaturated market, get to a place you know you're gonna sell a bunch of tickets.
yeah.
Like I think Nashville Super Speedway, as that's gone on, if they get the short track, Super Speedway's out because you won't be able to fill both. Just won't happen.
No, I don't think so.
Not in the whole southeastern. I'm not even talking about Florida, but the Carolinas. You know,
There's a lot in there.
Georgia. Even if you go to Talladega, if you're in that area, I mean, you can go to 6-7 racetracks within a couple hours.
Pretty easily, yeah.
2 hours.
I mean, even where
Martinsville.
where we're at, we can hit 3 in what the most
5
6 hours,
hours?
5
6
6 hours.
Yeah,
And that's
4.
What's the
Homestead,
other one? I was thinking Homestead.
Talladega, Atlanta.
Talladega.
Oh, I wasn't thinking Talladega. What about?
Oh, how dare you?
Well, that's, to me, that's farther than 6 hours.
Actually, Darlington's about
7.
6 hours too.
5 Flags. We can go to 5 Flags.
No,
I'm still not done. I'm still
Too
not
far.
done sweating on that one.
Well, I'll tell you, that drive to 5 Flag Speedway, that was longer than any other drive we've ever done.
I think Bristol's about twice as far and it felt half as long.
There is just something about driving up
On
the
I-10.
coast
I-10 and
of
75.
Florida. And you're just like, it's been 6 hours and I'm still in Florida. And it makes no sense.
The GPS is like, you have 4 turns. Like, what the heck, bro?
Yeah. No, the weirdest thing to me is like literally like once you get past Tallahassee, it's just nothing until you
Nothing.
get to Pensacola. Like nothing in between Pensacola and Tallahassee. And it's
insane.
boring as can be. And then on the drive back had to be much worse because we're just
Oh, no.
totally
That's flat.
exhausted. Oh yeah, for you were fine.
I drove all the way. I earned it.
Yeah, we're gonna change that.
No, sir.
So anyway, back to the task at hand, so to speak. So a couple teams actually did really good today, and I don't think really anyone was really expecting it. RFK,
I was not expecting Ford at all.
RFK, and SHR were both pretty good there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not all of. Well, yeah, I guess
What,
so.
3 of
14 was
SHRs?
terrible all day long.
Yeah, but the three
But
others.
the 10 probably had the car to win.
The 10 was
But
good.
he messed up on pit road. Man, talk about penalties on pit road. Brad probably lost this race due to a penalty, and Eric Almirola probably lost this race due to a
Bell.
penalty, and Bubba Wallace probably lost this race due to a penalty.
Well, Bubba Wallace, I don't think it was a penalty. It
Bubba
was
Wallace was in the lead.
yeah,
No,
but
no,
it
no,
was the
Bubba-
jack.
Well,
Something
not well.
with
I
the
guess
jack.
penalty. Difficulty on pit road because
And
Brad wasn't a
then
penalty either. He just
Bell
had a hard
had it-
time getting a rear tire.
Bell
on.
was.
Bell
I don't
couldn't
think.
figure it out.
I don't think Bell was going to win, but he had a really good car that could have done a really good. Had a really good ending, and just kept having just one problem after another, after another, after another.
Yes, it seems it's really weird because when you're going through the weeks, the teams that are high, I don't know, they shift a lot. So like for instance, like
Yeah,
Denny
they do that on
Hamlin-
road courses.
No, like Denny Hamlin was not hot in the beginning of the year, and now he's
Right.
like he's always up front. He's like a top 5 car the last 4 races,
Whoa!
and
wait
now
a minute.
Bell has fallen back.
Wait a minute. This track is probably going to be very similar to what we see in Phoenix.
Yeah,
A flatter, hot, slick racetrack.
Hmm.
Bro, if RFK can get there, I mean, Brad's pretty. He's all but a lock. I mean, unless he like DNFs all the
him
weeks.
and Harvick pretty much. Yeah.
He was
he's
already.
up. He's up over 200 points, right?
Oh no! I think he's
Which one?
like 110.
Brad?
Yeah, I think Harvick's like 200.
As of before this race, Brad.
Sorry, yeah, Brad's 151.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty darn close, but
I mean,
Yeah.
you got to pretty much DNF 4 races.
yeah, which I don't see that happen.
No.
There's 2 road courses.
So Brad will
Don't
probably.
never say never for Brad.
Oh yeah, Brad's got some work to do. Brad needs a good Michigan.
He's a really good Michigan.
So
Yeah, just to be safe.
You know what I heard? Totally a little off topic here, because I know we're talking about teams, but Eric Jones started his Cup career in 2017. 2017 was the first year NASCAR went to stages. Eric Jones has a combined 637 stage points, and he's never won a stage.
that is some NASCAR statistician facts.
Bro, I read that this morning, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He's never won a stage, but he's earned over I think it was either 600 or 300, but I want to say it was
Well, that's a
637.
pretty big difference. That's
Wow.
probably 600.
I think I saw it on like Twitter or something this morning. I was like, that's insane.
That is a lot.
So I just want to throw that out there. But he's won races. So, I mean, if you count like stage 3 as winning the race, then he has won a stage, but I don't
They don't
consider
really
it.
count it that way.
No.
Mark, in case you're wondering, I got the meat.
Oh, God.
I got the beef jerky.
This
Yeah,
is
to anyone on the podcast, it's beef jerky.
yeah.
Easy now.
Yeah. Calm down.
Mark.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, see you at Daytona, buddy.
You gonna bring your meat?
Huh?
You go bring your meat to Daytona?
I got special meat coming for Daytona.
Special meat for Daytona.
Jake loves his meat.
Oh, God. All right, too bad. It's starting to sound like the DBC pit road conversation.
Oh, geez. Okay, so
Oh.
back to what we were talking about. So
Yeah.
RFK and SHR. So Ford in general, I think, had a really strong day. And normally this is a very strong Toyota track.
Briscoe didn't surprise me. Brad did. And
Yeah.
then all of SHR
You mean
did.
Busher?
Sorry, whatever.
Briscoe was terrible.
Yeah, sorry. Busher. I picked him in the fantasy league. I was the only one. I got that win. Whoop, whoop.
Take it a run.
So
I thought he would fall apart. I thought he would miss a corner or something like that. I was like, he ain't gonna finish.
he did good at Bristol. That's what made me confident in him. And then you pointed out to me
His
on the lap
times
times,
were
his lap times were
unbelievable.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And then you didn't pick him.
No.
No
I
faith.
What an
went with
idiot.
Bell. I went with Bell, man. I thought Bell was gonna be better.
Wow.
And
Bell-
it is what it is.
I think it's still true. Has Bell still not earned a top 5 since Bristol Dirt?
No, he hasn't.
That's wild.
Ooh,
Falling apart. What's
Wow.
going on over there? His crew chief's
Again,
Adam
he was-
Stevens, right?
I think so.
Hot
Dude,
in the
that's
beginning of the
that's a
season.
baller right there too.
So he was hot in the beginning of the season, and so was it's pretty much just Bell. And then Truex did pretty good.
Byron.
Truex won the Clash, so he was hot.
Yep.
But then it's almost flipped. Now it's like Hamlin's hot, and I guess Truex is still hot up there. But it's weird how
yeah.
it works like that.
It's
know?
ebbs and flows, right? Like you're going to go on runs. You're going to go have slumps and stuff like that. So I
Don't
think,
talk about slums. Hendrick Motorsports.
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Oh my god.
shockingly bad.
Fell apart. They were 3 of my drivers.
You know who
Me
else?
too.
You know who
Horrible
else?
week.
Trackhouse.
Falling apart.
You're right.
Self-destruction.
If
I don't
you
know what
can
happened.
take anything from
Chevys.
this race to
Chevys were bad today. There was one
Yeah.
Chevy in the top 10. It was Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
ouch.
Yeah.
And he was
One.
fast from the get go.
And let's be honest, Kyle Busch has
No,
had a
he
lot of
dropped like a
experience in
rock.
Toyotas. And
Halfway through the race.
No, I guess from practice and everything, he was pretty decent.
Yes. He had good times and everything.
But I still look at Kyle Busch as kind of like a Toyota in disguise. He's just been with
an
Toyota for so
imposter.
long. Yeah. One of these guys is not like the others kind of thing. But
So
no.
in the top 10, 6 were Ford,
Yeah.
1 Chevy, 3 Toyota.
And
Toyota.
I would have said that Toyotas would have dominated this race. That was what I was thinking.
Oh,
It
me
was
too.
close.
Me too. We said that last week. I mean, they're
And to be
typically
fair-
phenomenal here.
And to be fair, I think they would have had they not had all those issues. Because
See,
you
yeah.
had Bubba.
Bubba Wallace probably had the car to win. He
I think he
dominated
did.
stage 1. He was nasty stage 1.
No, well, he didn't dominate stage 1, but he ran through the field in stage 1.
Didn't he lead most of stage 1?
No, that was Reddick. Reddick led the entire stage.
I forgot. But he passed Reddick at the
But
end. I
he
guess,
did.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
he
you're right,
passed him
you're
in
right.
stage 2.
Dude, there was actually
But
a
he
lot of
moved
people
a lot through.
who got runs like that throughout the race. It was weird. Like Brad could run through the field.
Yeah.
He got up to the front. Then he had his issue on pit road. Couldn't move from there.
And then who was it?
like, what?
Reddick could fly through, but not at the cost of burning up his stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I should say, at the cost of burning up his stuff, and he would just all of a sudden hit a wall and couldn't pass anymore.
Yep, it was like he was done. So, yeah, I mean, it was, I would not have expected that.
I did not expect
those-
Logano either to do as good
Yeah.
as he did.
Logano.
His time sucked.
Yeah.
Hey,
Logano.
how about this? Austin Dillon got 9th.
Yeah.
2 Chevys top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even see him on there. So, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
First Hendrick Motorsports was Chase Elliott, 13th.
Yeah.
Next was Alex Bowman. Ricky Stenhouse outran 3 of the Hendrick guys. Not a knock
He's
on
not
Ricky,
good,
but they just just shows
not
you where
not,
Hendrick is.
not similar equipment for sure.
Yeah. And again, we're talking about Team Hendrick that in the spring race we're 1 and 2 here.
Yeah.
And I think there was another one in the top 10.
Yeah, that's why I leaned a little more on Hendrick this
Yeah,
this
Larson
week.
won it, and then Josh Berry in the 9 car came up in second.
Mm-hmm.
And Byron dominated that race before he got spun.
Hey,
I
Yeah.
thought Hendrick was going to be amazing here today.
for what it's worth, since Justin Haley is leaving, colleague, and going to Rick Ware, let's see. Justin Haley ran 30th. Ryan Newman in the 51 ran 29th. Just a little data point that we can track. Over
I
the
wonder
next
how many
couple
people are
weeks.
going to go with Justin Haley. Do you think anyone's going to go with him, like crew chief? You usually see like crew chiefs and spotters and
It
stuff like
depends.
that jump around.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Depends.
I don't know who the
Depends.
spotter is.
That's kind of like part of the deal. Like, hey, I'll come, but you got to hire this guy. Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
like spotters a lot of time follow the drivers, but like crew chiefs, there's so much inside information. You kind of got to buy them out. Almost everybody in NASCAR now has a contract, even down to pit crew teams.
Wow.
Multi-year
What
contract.
was it like? Who was it? Was it Joe Gibbs that just signed like their gas man or something? That was like a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Either
and
Joe,
like
it was either
multi-million
Joe
dollars or
Gibbs.
something.
No,
They make
it
a
was-
couple hundred. I think they
Or-
make 100 and change a year.
I
Yeah.
don't remember what it was.
I thought it was Hamlin. I thought it was Hamlin's team.
It was someone. It
Because
was
I wanted to say, this is kind of just going back either earlier this year or the year before, he was getting guys from Joe Gibbs, but he wasn't getting the best guys. And he's like, I just had to hire my own.
Yeah.
He's like, I had to go out and hire him because I just wasn't competitive enough. And I mean, it's paying off. Look at his drivers. These drivers are doing great now. So
yeah, for sure.
I do think back to that. Man, what is happening with Trackhouse? Exclude the Nashville Super Speedway win. They have this middle of the season. I would say the last 10 races off a cliff.
off a cliff, man.
Like
Yeah,
running.
it's been rough.
Even Suarez got wrecked for what, 28th or something like
Yeah.
that, way
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah, you should. I mean,
I couldn't tell you. I'm
Well,
gonna be honest.
Gregson was running 28th, so you assume somewhere in there, right? So
yeah.
Suarez ended up finishing 33rd.
Oof.
I don't know, man. They're kind of.
They're missing it. They're missing it somewhere, or they're just saving stuff. But I don't see why. Why? Like
Suarez can't save.
Suarez,
Suarez
can't.
can't save at all.
Now,
I don't think
Chastain's
you
team
can
could,
like back
but-
in the day. I don't think you can sandbag
No.
in the middle of the season. Like Hendrick used to always do that. They would get out of the, eye of the officials, quit winning so much, and they
Yep.
would kind of fade back, and they'd have all these tricked out parts that they all saved for the playoffs, and they would come out and run really good in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's what they used to do.
Yeah,
So I
mean,
think
after-
now it's too competitive, man. You need these playoff points.
Well, how
after-
often does it come down in every single section of the playoffs? We always have
it's always that close.
2 or 3 drivers that are 1 and 2 points away. And I mean, last year was it Larson? And remember, there was that battle with him, and I think it was Harvick, or no, it was at the Roval. I don't remember who it was, and it was literally like the whole time they were going back and forth counting how many who passed who. Okay, now one more car because it was
Ross
and-
Chastain and Denny Hamlin at Martinsville.
Yeah, and then the watermelon he made up all. He only needed 2 spots and he gained 6.
Yeah,
little overachiever there, but
full send, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. Like
I think these points are
Suarez,
so important, man.
Suarez
you need these
can't-
stage. You
yeah, he
need these
can't.
stage and bonus points. You gotta have them.
I mean, today was I thought it was a very disappointing day for like Elliott because he
It
needs
was.
good days and he's not getting them.
No,
But
For
everyone else
what
is.
it's worth, in the playoff standings, Ross Chastain is 6th with 10 playoff points. That gets you 6 when the playoff starts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not terrible.
not terrible.
He's ahead of Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Joe Logano, Christopher Bell,
He needs a couple of.
Chris Busher,
Blaney fell off.
Ricky
freaking-
Stenhouse. Ricky Stenhouse hasn't done anything since the 500.
No.
He's ran good, but hasn't done anything playoff wise. Your top is William Byron. He has 22 points. So if you're Ross, if you're Trackhouse, your guy that's in the playoff is 12 behind.
That's not that.
Suarez
off.
lost ground on the playoff bubble
He
this
would
week.
have for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, he's down to
He's gonna be
34
in a
points below the
must-win.
cutoff.
He's going to be in a must-win.
Not quite. If he can make up 34 points, but you got to have Bubba Wallace, Brad, or Michael McDowell all run really bad. Probably
Yeah.
just really Michael McDowell and
McDowell
Bubba
would
Wallace.
be
But
your
the problem
best.
is Michael McDowell's good at super speedways,
and road courses when we have 3 of those.
and Ford's good at Michigan.
Oh,
It's gonna be.
So
Yeah, I'd be worried.
He's
man.
pretty much in a must-win because as long as Michael McDowell
Yeah.
keeps it clean and we don't get a surprise winner, there's probably a really good chance Michael McDowell can point his way in here.
He might.
How many more winners do you think we're gonna get before the playoffs? Let's just throw that out.
What
there.
we're up to 12 now, I think, right?
So we got obviously 2 road courses, Michigan.
Well,
and
you got
Daytona.
AJ Allmendinger and Chase Elliott, right? They're
Yeah.
2 road course ringers per se.
Yeah.
They
we have
haven't won
12
yet, but
we
you
have
got
12
stiff
winners.
competition at Indy. That field is stacked.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some. I mean, with SVG, the other
Toyota.
guy from Supercar, I
I
forget
don't
his
remember
name.
the other guy's name. Yeah.
So that, I mean,
Ugh.
Toyota's
yeah,
gonna
one of
have
those guys could win. Swartz
I
could
wanna
win
say
a road course.
Tamayashi.
I think that's how you say it.
Tomoyashi.
It's that guy.
He's the Japanese GR driver
Yeah.
for Toyota. He's coming over. I mean,
Yeah, there's still a lot of chances for.
I mean, anybody can win at Daytona.
so do you
Anyone.
think?
Anyone.
Do you?
So
think,
you got to be 15th going into Daytona.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be crazy.
To feel any kind of comfort, you know.
Yeah. And
Ryan Preece hasn't won. He ran good today.
I bet you.
Austin Dillon hasn't won yet. He's typically good for
very
one a
good-
year.
and very good at super speedways.
Harvick hasn't won. Oh no, Harvick has won.
No, he has not. Harvick has not won yet.
No? Oh yeah,
no.
you're right.
He won at
But
Michigan last year.
he's 180 points in. He's pretty much a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs hasn't won, but he's not race winning speed, I don't think. Not at a road course.
I mean, well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're looking.
Bowman
at it,
hasn't won.
There's still. I mean, how many winners? I'd say
more new winners.
I'd say we'd get at least 2.
I think we'll get one.
I think one more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and
I
if,
think you get one.
if
I
that's
see
the case,
AJ showing up maybe at a road course and maybe 2 if you count one at Daytona. But
another new winner
when was the last time we had an upset winner at Daytona
last week
or Talladega?
last year.
Really?
Cindric.
Dylan.
1 to 500 before.
I mean, yeah, but
Always
he wasn't
runs,
locked in.
but he always runs good.
Yeah, but that's an upset
Austin
winner.
Dillon winning
What do you
the
mean by
summer,
upset winner? How about that? Like upset the season, or
like
someone
a
you're not
Ryan
like-
Preece,
Oh,
like somebody that completely throws a wrench into the playoff bubble. Austin Dillon does
Well,
kind of
that's
do
a
that,
good
but
question.
Austin Dillon winning at a super speedway doesn't surprise me.
It's not a big
because
shock.
the last upset
He either
winner,
runs good or wins, and he has
Who?
2 good Daytona wins.
Cindric maybe last year. Was kind of a
Cindric would
surprise.
definitely throw a wrench in everything,
Yeah,
but he's been. I mean,
The
he
last
could
one I think we
certainly win
saw
Daytona,
was
and Penske
Haley.
working together with Ryan and
Justin-
Joey Logano,
Justin Haley.
Justin Haley.
Eric
Here's
Jones.
an idea. You think Penske's going to help out Austin Cindric
Why not?
at Daytona?
Yeah, why
If they're
not?
on a line, are you going to pull out? You're going to get your third driver to the playoffs.
Third driver into the playoffs.
I think you'd
Numbers.
be a team player there. You're already locked.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, 5 more points is 5 more points, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, having a teammate in the playoffs might be worth 5 points.
A lot more money.
I don't know.
Not that he's running great, but
That's actually a really good
Lot more
point.
money.
a lot more money.
More
That's-
money
That
for
would
the
take
end of the
him.
year.
Where's he at in the standings?
Well, as of last week, he was 22nd.
Oh, bro, way more money.
Way
That's
more
what I'm
money.
saying. That's big money difference.
I mean, and
because-
based off of the playoff standings right now, I mean, there's a really good chance he could outrun Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse. I mean, there's probably a really good chance that he could make it to round of 12. I don't think he goes beyond round of 12, but
honestly, there's several drivers. I'm looking at like the list of people that haven't won. I mean, like we said, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Corey LaJoy, Almirola, Haley,
Corey LaJoy
Cindric,
could definitely win.
Elliott, Bowman. All of those guys are below the
I
cutoff
don't think Bowman
and could
will win. That's
But my point is, all those guys are well below the cutoff and can
Wins at
win.
Michigan.
I think I was gonna say because Hendrick does sometimes show up really, really fast in Michigan. If he doesn't win at Michigan, I think it's pretty much over.
For Bowman.
And Hendrick's in too much of a with Chase Elliott being in needing a win. I mean, they're not going to want to work together. They're going to be both racing for a win. If Chase is not locked by then, you know.
We saw Bowman and Larson not working together today. Try to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah.
That's just staying on the lead
Just
lap.
aggressive.
Yeah. Ryan says one more winner. He thinks last year was a fluke having all those winners. I don't know if I'd say it's a fluke. I think it's a product of just the new car. People just a lot more level playing field. You know, obviously the
We
big
do have a
teams-
lot of winners. We have 12 winners this year.
It's
Yeah.
technically
13 if you count SVG.
Yeah, it's 13.
No. It's 12 now. We had 11 as of yesterday. I'm looking at the standings.
Yeah.
No,
right
I
now,
know,
right
but
now we have
SV
12.
At SVG.
Well, yeah, but he's not full time.
That's 13
But
different
he
winners.
won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But he won. That's 13. So, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see 14 to 15.
We could be very close.
I'm sorry. Official 13-14.
Yeah, and we're not far
I
off.
see 2 more.
Yeah,
So-
could be.
Just how
Who's
competitive.
been really fast at the road courses
how
besides
competitive
SVG?
the field has been today. Like, I don't know how you can count any of those guys out. Like the whole top 10. Like there was
Denny
a
Hamlin might
handful of
really
them.
stink up the show in road courses. He
Yeah.
ran so good
Yeah.
at the Roval or
Yeah.
the street
Didn't
course.
Todd
I mean,
Gilliland do really good at Sonoma?
Yes.
Was it Sonoma or one of the road courses? I mean, again, he's in 24th. He's not that far out.
Either way, I think the next 4 weeks are going to be a blast, man.
Yeah.
I
think it's gonna
can't
be
wait.
Super competitive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're gonna
It's-
see the top of the top, like showing. They're gonna. Hey, it's all or nothing this week. You
Yeah,
know?
and then if the
that's
playoff
gonna
battle,
have to be the game.
Yeah.
what was it that one year Truex entered the playoff with 40, 50 something points, something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but the playoff battle is tight. Like I said, Ross Chastain in 6 has 10, and the guy in first is 22. That's
It's
12
not
points,
that
top
far.
to bottom. That's
No.
that's 12 positions on the racetrack.
Yeah.
This is the tightest playoff field I can remember in a long time. Very, very tight, very
Yeah.
competitive. I mean, 22 points is not a lot.
No.
So it's like there's a handful of winners that are really, really good and teams that are good, and the points are spread pretty evenly and consistently across,
Yeah. So, okay. So before we go into our About It, Not About It section, I wanted to let everyone know that's listening and watching, this is our 25th podcast. So, yay. We officially can get a rental car. Yay.
That's what came to mind.
I was like going to say drink, and then I was like, nope, that's the wrong number.
You can get a rental car at 21.
Well, yeah, but it's cheaper.
It is cheaper. Yes.
I think
Okay.
that's like the cutoff in like the insurance.
Moving
Next
on.
week, do we get our own insurance?
No, we still got to stay on Jake's. We're still listed as a
Oh
dependent.
my god.
Sorry.
So so the 25th episode. So yeah, sweet. I don't know if I'm surprised that we made it this long or like I expected us to. I don't know.
I can't
can't
believe
believe we
we're
got people
already to
listening.
25.
It has gone by really quickly.
I like when you said that, I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah,
Wow.
25.
But I mean, it makes sense how far we are in the season.
Yeah, exactly. So thank
It
you,
is
Megan. Thank
really
you.
crazy that people listen.
I know.
I appreciate all our listeners struggling through this with us. Thank you.
We appreciate
Keep
it.
coming back.
So all right. So now that we've said that, so let's go on to our About It, Not About It topic. And I only have one this week. But for any of you guys that are listening, if you haven't listened before or seen us before, this is where I'll throw us out a topic and we say whether we're about it or we're not about it. And this week, there wasn't a whole lot of news, so this is the only thing I could think of. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is going to be on the CW network for an 8-year deal, and it works out to being about $115 million per year. What do we think, Matt? About it, not about it?
Man, I am about it for the simple fact that it's consistent and it is a long-term plan for the Xfinity Series. We're not getting,
I should add that it's the entire season of the
Correct.
Xfinity. I
Correct.
didn't
There's
say that.
no
in there.
more. We're not jumping back and forth. We're not worrying about where to watch it. It's going to be pretty clean.
Yep.
You can watch it on the CW app or you can watch it on TV. I'm pretty sure it's a regular cable TV.
You can actually watch it over the air, like if you have antenna, like an antenna.
If you buy a
yeah, I
$15
mean-
digital antenna, you can pick it up.
So yeah, I mean, you want to talk about boosting ratings? Now it's available for everyone,
And-
and it's arguably one of the better races. I'd probably say truck racing is probably third, and it just depends on the week between Cup and Xfinity. But Xfinity usually is a really good race.
Consistently is usually more.
I would say
interesting.
this week the Xfinity at Road America was much better than the
Much
Cup race.
better.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that just has to deal with the track, the drivers, the type
car.
of car. So there's
Well,
a
it
lot
goes
plays
back
into
to like
it.
the Road America. If you get off track, there's a penalty.
Oh
You
yeah.
tear up a splitter, you hit a wall. Like
Destroy
nobody,
your brake
you get in
rotor.
the gravel, you can blow brake rotors. I mean, that's just. I don't know why we left.
certain
it.
things-
On
Hey,
a
let's
side
leave.
note-
Let's leave Richmond and go to Road America.
You know what? I am so glad that doesn't take a genius to figure out
I like it.
because that makes so much more sense. Now you can have all the teams together at one track. They're already at Road America. We could be at Road America.
When they race at Road America, there's like 100-something thousand people there. Come on,
you
now.
know what?
Why are we not there?
I don't
You know, It's just because it's another road course.
I get
But
that.
it's a good one.
I get that.
I will say the problem Road America had, I think,
Oh,
was
I know what you're gonna say.
Yep, stage cautions.
That and it's so long.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the problem. Is anytime there's a caution, it's a minimum of like.
The only
25
bad part
minutes.
about the
They fixed that.
Xfinity race, it was 3 laps to go before the stage, and they did have stage cautions for the Xfinity race because there was no live pit stops. So 3 laps to go, they do 3 laps of 4-mile caution,
That
and
was
then
rough.
that's basically almost the same as 2 laps at Daytona under caution. So you sat there for 6 laps equivalent Daytona under caution, waiting to give the checkered flag for the stage. Then they opened pit road for another lap. Then they had a formation lap, getting everybody back together.
Yep.
You know, so it's like 7. Oh God,
That's-
it was like
That's where it's like I think.
Let's go.
They made a comment on DBC one time talking about that, and they were like, "Why don't?" They're like, in Formula One, the pace car for Formula One basically drives it. It's a street car. They just drive it as fast as they can go around it. It's like, why don't we drive the pace car a little faster then? Speed it up. Like it's not like
Yep.
it's a race course.
I would
we
be
can do
super. I mean, we're getting way off topic
I know.
about it, not about it. But since we're talking about it, I would be super interested to see if NASCAR does do a limiting button. Can't use it on pit road, but if you do a racetrack like Road America, you have sections, and IMSA has this now. Like we saw this at Le Mans, you have to slow down, and when you're in the section, you hit the limiter. You go 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
If you go into it too fast, just like pit road speeding penalty.
It's
Maybe
the I think the problem there
It
is
would be a mess in the beginning, but
it
I
would
think
be-
it would eventually work out.
they would have to experiment with it, and the problem is people aren't patient. So I think.
But if
that's-
you get everybody down
I
to
mean,
45 miles an hour and create no passing,
yep.
you know, because
All right.
even if you change your corner to try to pass, like you can't do any of that.
So
You
the
know what I
next
mean?
All-Star race, Road America, and we're going to introduce that because that's how we
That's the
introduce
test. That or
new
the truck
things.
series. Remember the caution clock with the truck series, the 20-minute caution clock?
Yeah, that was.
I had
That was
forgotten-
wild.
I had totally forgotten about that.
That
Oh my
was
But anyway,
wild.
jumping back to the CW.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. It's a nice, easy to watch, easy to view. Anyone could view it. It's a long deal, so you're not gonna have to worry or guess. You know, the teams
Consistency.
can stay locked in, and hopefully, it just brings a lot more money to the sport.
Yeah. Jake? Or do you want me to go since
Go
you're
ahead, go ahead.
too much? Never mind. Not
I
going to go there.
I can't quit eating the jerky.
That's nicer than what I was going to say. All right.
lot
So,
nicer.
That's why I took it over.
so yeah, I'm about it too. At first, when I first saw the image, I was like, there's no way this is real. Like,
No, it
hold on.
looks fake. It
Like,
looks
I was
fake.
like, there's no way. The CW.
I was like, is it April 1st? Like, what?
And now don't get me because I love one of my favorite shows was Arrow and The Flash, like when they first came out and stuff like that. I loved the whole Arrowverse, like all that stuff. So I used to watch the CW a lot, and I was like thinking when they saw this, and I've stopped watching. The shows have gotten way too political for my taste and everything, and I'm just like, that network is not a very NASCAR-y network. So I'm like, this is. First, I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't think this is going to work. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, that's a market that NASCAR is trying to go after is a younger demographic. So
True.
that makes sense there. And obviously, the reach is going to be good, being that it's now over air. So technically, you can watch these races now for free,
Yeah.
which is a huge deal.
Real quick, do you know about all the other sports investments CW's made?
They've been making a lot of them. What is it?
They bought the Live
not NC
Live Golf, and
Yep.
then they bought a bunch of
ACC. Some college football.
a
or
bunch of
something.
college football games.
Yeah.
So they said they'll have sporting events, live sporting events, 48 weeks out of the year now.
Wow.
Huge investment in
Yeah.
sports.
So they're definitely, and it's cool that they're.
NASCAR's like 33 of them, but
Yeah, I mean, most of it. I think it's 32, but yeah, it's
they
right around
talked
there.
about how important it was to get NASCAR because it gives them sports coverage for a long duration of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a little heartbroken. I mean, I was heartbroken in the fact that I didn't even think of the CW
No one did
because
I don't
obviously
think anyone did.
Nobody did.
Everyone's been talking about, oh, it's going to happen. I was like,
Everyone
maybe
pulled
it'll
the-
go back to ESPN.
Everyone pulled out their bingo cards and was like, "Yep, that one wasn't on there at all."
I think it's wild is you just don't see secrets staying secrets in NASCAR.
No.
And the fact that this one stayed a secret is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think everyone was kind of under the assumption it was going to Amazon. Or not Amazon, sorry. Amazon Prime. And it was going to be like an Amazon Prime deal, but
I saw it. Sorry.
I was thinking the new pre-race will be like, the animated Batman cartoon show, and then we'll go right into the race.
I was thinking more like Speed Racer.
Okay. Bring the cartoons back. The Fox cartoons for the drivers.
Geez.
Let's go.
No.
I want a series.
No. Oh, gosh. The last one. Just the last one, Matt.
So you about it now?
Stop.
Yes, I'm about it. I'm about it. So,
All right.
Jake, go for it.
So as of right now, based off everything I've heard,
They
I'm
already
about
got the
it.
characters.
They've made a bunch of comments, big investment into sports. I think this is good for a couple of reasons. So if Fox and NBC still get the Cup Series and maybe the Truck Series, CW could come in there and put a whole new thing and give competition, like the old like tire wars, and like make things, they made the
Do
racing
something
better. So I think in the same vein that you may have some friendly competition, you see Fox and NBC kind of make themselves better because they have competition to see who's going to be better throughout the year. And I think this will create some of that too, because if CW comes in there with a bunch of fresh ideas, like it could be a whole thing. Something
Like a
interesting about
bracket
this.
challenge.
CW, yeah, hey, bro.
That'd be interesting.
The CW, the CW, they are not using their broadcast team.
No, it's
It's
NASCAR.
a NASCAR broadcast team. And NASCAR will partner with them as far as the on-air talent. So now what does that mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea. The biggest bummer for me is the NBC booth and all the analysts, zero complaints. Dale Jr. is great. Jeff Burton's great. You have Steve Letarte. He's great. Super analytical.
All the pit reporters.
All the pit reporters are great. Across the board, NBC is literally just knocking it out of the park. Camera shots are great. Audio is great. So
Today kind of sucks.
it is
But
it is kind of a bummer we're going to lose them. And you saw yesterday in the Xfinity race, completely different team, right? And the depth in NBC covered both races no problem, and it was phenomenal.
Yep.
So that I wonder how that's going to work. Will they be able to partner with NASCAR and still get Dale Jr. or Jeff Burton or Steve Letarte? Will they have to go get a whole new team? I don't know.
I mean, I imagine
Maybe
they don't
Darryl
wanna be-
Waltrip's coming back.
I would imagine they don't want to be, without a job. So
Well, I mean, but
assume
let's say you're
they're
Dale
looking.
Jr., you have a contract with NBC, theoretically, because Cup Series hasn't been bought yet or whatever. Deal hasn't been signed. So if Dale Jr., say, is doing the NBC deal, which he seems to really be enjoying, will they allow him to cross into the CW and do partner races because NASCAR is somewhat involved in the broadcasting? I don't know.
They could do any. I mean, shoot.
Not
who
just
knows?
Dale Jr., I'm just saying anybody,
You could bring in Tony Stewart. Whoever.
whoever.
Yeah, I
Peyton
mean,
Manning.
That would be interesting.
Omaha.
I believe that's what they call a side job. Side job.
Now that's what they call a side job. I can just see his. No, please, God, no.
Subway. Fresh.
I was just about to say you probably bring a Subway soda.
Where's the Subway car? Is Carl Edwards not out here anymore?
I really hated that Jimmy John's car when it was here. It was horrible.
Oh my God. Oh, that'd be great.
Mark says Kevin Harvick to the CW. That's something I never thought I'd hear, but I mean,
Bingo.
so he signed with Fox, but is that a 1-year deal? Is it a long-term deal?
Is it a deal?
Is there an alternative to
But
where
does that mean he can't cover Xfinity?
I don't know.
I mean, just because he signed with Fox for the Cup doesn't mean he didn't cover.
I guess the rumor is Fox and NBC are in the headline or are in the front running to basically do the same package they're kind of doing now. Fox front half, NBC back half. But there is a rumor that Amazon is going to buy a 6-race slot in the middle of the season and do a
hopefully
streaming only.
it's the last month that we've had because those races have been fire.
Oh, bro, if you buy these races,
The
whew.
last few races we've had, yeah.
So I read a couple interesting things. One was Amazon Prime users, 115 million Americans have Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Bro,
If you think about how many households there are, how many people in America? 400 million?
350, I think.
Something like that?
350,
So
400, somewhere in there.
115 million is, I mean, pretty much every freaking house.
And the thing
broadcasts
is-
are actually really good too.
Yeah.
because they had the
The
Thursday
NFL.
night NFL.
Oh, it's
games.
phenomenal.
They were really good. The games weren't the greatest.
Well,
but
they're going to get
it was the teams. It was it
last
was
bit.
what it was. But the actual
But they
production
did buy
quality
some good
was
games, though.
amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the games were good. I mean, this
Towards
is
the
like
end,
dipping
towards the
their
end.
foot in.
Well,
You
I
start
mean,
paying more money for some better games, you know?
I can tell. I think having a streaming partner like Amazon would be incredibly good for the sport because, I mean, I don't know about you guys. How many times you've been sitting at home and I don't have cable at home, so I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, man, I don't really have anything to watch or whatever. And it's like, oh, there's a live football game. It's like I'm not really into football, but it's something to have on maybe while I'm doing something or whatever. That is something that where I think NASCAR could really capitalize on. It's like, Sunday usually afternoon, usually people aren't doing much. Maybe they're just kind of like their kids are going to bed early because they got school the next day or they got work. They don't really want to get into anything too deep, but they want something on. Put NASCAR on, and then, that's a way to get people back into the sport.
One thing the president of CW said, he wanted to focus and put more races on primetime Saturday night for Xfinity.
That'd be nice.
Could see a lot more Saturday night Xfinity races. That wouldn't bother me at all. Sometimes that Xfinity race right in the middle of the day kind of kills you. If you want to watch it, you sit down and watch it. Kind of kills whatever you're kind of doing.
This week because we watched Xfinity first and then truck. I was all messed up.
It was so backwards.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so I think overall, I think it's going to be good for the sport. It's just, man, did it come out of left field?
Yeah,
and I think that does that make everyone kind of like sit there and wonder like, okay, who haven't we considered yet that might be in the running for like the Cup or something like.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, is HBO Max now in this, or is Disney Plus going to put it on?
TNT coming back?
I hope there's some kind of deal that, what about ESPN?
That's what I was thinking.
Made a huge investment into F1
and SRX.
And
SRX.
You know what's wild is I think I heard that this deal is more than they pay than ESPN pays for F1 a year.
Oh my god! Xfinity has way more viewers.
Yeah,
and more
typically,
races. And I think more races because I think F1's 20 races or something. And this is 32,
33,
33, 30, whatever. Yeah. I'm just going to look up the F1 deal.
Yeah, F1 race is pretty good today.
Yeah, I watched it.
Not bad. Actually, really. Qualifying Friday and qualifying Saturday, phenomenal. Sprint race, phenomenal. So good.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen is still disgusting. He actually tied the record for most consecutive wins in a row in F1.
So I figured out what they're doing because nobody can beat the Red Bull cars. So what they're doing is they're trying to figure out everything else they can take away from Red Bull. So like Lewis Hamilton, it was the last lap and he came in and pitted, put on brand new tires and went out there and posted the fastest lap. And he's like, I got the fastest lap this race.
That's a bonus point for their season.
I know, but it's just like, wow, okay.
This is wild.
I don't know the stats like that or how they get points, but
they ESPN signed back a deal back in 2018 about it. Looks like the new deal that they just signed, $85 million per year. So the Xfinity's getting 115.
Wow.
Now, granted, it's I think they said 21 races or 20 something races.
The Xfinity viewership is going to go way up, being
on
on broadcast TV,
yeah, I think
and not being on a what's the word I'm thinking of?
A streaming service, streaming platform.
No, I'm saying
like a sports channel, a premium.
Yeah,
package.
like a premium package channel.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much every single one of them is behind a premium channel paywall.
And everybody has CW. If you have cable, everyone has that.
That's a basic channel. And then if you don't, you have the digital antenna.
What if that'll change?
And the streaming on the website, I believe, is free.
I think their app was free at one point. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah.
It is,
I
but
think
they have like
the
ads
Xfinity
and
rating,
stuff
I don't know what their races get, but I there's no way they're not over $1 million every race next year. There's no way.
Yeah, I think so.
They're gonna be. This is. I think that's why I think.
Hallmark Channel. Guzman, stop. Go to bed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it.
The Food Channel.
You just see Brad cutting like things like, okay, and so now we're gonna make this, Jeff, and
Tony Stewart's
we're gonna
burning everything.
We're gonna cook a Martinsville hot dog. No, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be about it.
I would be fine with. I don't know.
Gordon Ramsay's kitchen nightmares. It's effing. just swearing up.
Where is the burnout?
It'd be great.
These tires are terrible.
Absolute crap. All right, let's move on to our next this is off the rails today. All right, so the next section is our Kuzman and Friends question of the week.
Oh crap, I don't have to pull it up.
Go ahead, I'll stall.
Kuzman, do you think the Cup Series will go to the Hallmark Channel?
That's our question to Kuzman. So this is our Kuzman and Friends question of the week. If you guys have a question you want to see us answer on the show, just send it over to us on Twitter. And then if we like it, we'll add it to the show.
It's still Twitter? It's not Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you on X, just X.
Be careful.
Oh, I'm saying too many X's. This is sounding worse.
Whoa, hey.
On X.
This sounds awful.
I don't like this.
So bad.
Can we go back?
I really
to
like it
Twitter?
when we had tweeters.
Tweet it. Anyway, Jake,
All right.
Jake, just go ahead.
So I got
here.
2 questions. I'm gonna pull up one he sent me a couple weeks ago that was actually really good. I thought.
You just ignore him. It's rude.
No, he sent me another one to use that was better.
Oh.
Because Denny Hamlin wrecked Larson. It was too good. We had to use it. It was about him winning the championship.
Oh, yeah,
Would he ever win a
Oh,
championship?
yeah.
All right. So the first question is, and this will be a fun one: what tracks have you camped at, and what is on the bucket list for camping? What tracks are on the bucket list
Well,
for camping?
I think
at?
we could easily say bucket list is all of them.
No, I have
Oh,
one in
for-
particular.
For camping, though?
Yeah, camping.
Oh, okay.
All right. So sorry. Where have we been at? Where have you camped?
Daytona, Bristol. I mean, we didn't really camp, but we got like a hotel room.
No,
up
that don't
for-
count.
That don't count
That's
for
not
Charlotte.
camp.
No, I think
that
I just did Daytona and Bristol.
So I did Bristol, Daytona, Homestead.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one.
You camped at Homestead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a
Me
Joey
and Josh
Logano year.
did,
He
and
was
we
not
almost,
happy.
we almost. It was cold in November, and we were freezing, and we were cooking pork loins, and we actually started a grease fire, and we almost set the campground on fire because it was
story.
so windy. It actually blew our tent over and started blowing the hot flaming grease into the
Oh,
dry
God.
grass.
Oh, okay.
There had people around us trying to help us stop it out. Yeah, we almost burned down the campground.
So
I think that's the only 3 I've camped at.
don't tell too many of those stories because one of these, like one of the off weeks, I want to do a stories from the track
Oh, yeah,
series
yeah,
and just
yeah.
do random.
No,
like,
there's
stories.
still more.
There's
to that,
plenty.
That one.
I've just camped at Daytona. I'm boring.
That's
It
it.
is what it is.
Yeah. So I've
We've
just done
camped,
Daytona.
for the record, we have camped both July and August. July, August, and February.
Yeah. And, oh God, February.
Um,
I've only camped one time in
February
Daytona.
is so much
And
nicer than
the
August.
one time I camped, it was like the coldest February has ever been.
That was so cold, and we were tent camping.
Yes,
Woo!
that was before we had the RV.
I was sleeping.
I was.
No, you can't say it.
I can't tell a story. I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
see?
Okay,
You
never
gotta
mind.
save it, bro.
It was cold. It was really, really cold. Freezing cold. Like, sorry, Kuzman. Normal weather for you. A normal Thursday.
Hey,
If it's 70 here, we're
when you're
cold.
on the beach and it's 29 and the wind's blowing, that just cut through you
Honestly,
different. And I have been
it
to
was the
Yellowstone in 4 foot of snow, and this was pretty close, bro. Like
It was
it's just a
100%
different cold.
the wind was
when you
that
have
day.
nowhere to hide,
Yeah,
bro.
The wind was the problem in that particular year because
was crazy.
it was like you said, it was like a 20-mile-an-hour wind. That made it so much worse.
All right, so
All right.
dream bucket list,
What?
Sorry.
bucket list camping spot.
Jeez.
Pocono, obviously.
Okay.
Let's
an
just go
easy
get
one.
let's just go get rained on for 4 days. Woo!
Man.
We already have Daytona in August for that.
Triangle. Triangle camping.
Just try and go camping.
DJ,
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of like one that would be a
There's a
bucket
lot.
list. I mean, like there's a. I can't think of one specifically.
I'll let you go first.
mine's not even close, bro.
Man, I gotta pick one. Go ahead and you guys go because I
On
can't
the
think of one.
Boulevard, Talladega, hands down.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't want
gotta
to
see what's
say it,
going
but I
on.
was like, man, camp it for the Indy 500 would probably be lit.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
That's not a NASCAR race, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We
that's
will.
true.
We will say it. I'm pretty sure we're going to the Indy 500 next year.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I would. Okay,
I'm gonna say it on here so we're more accountable.
I'm gonna throw
Except
this.
for Richmond was good comments. Those don't count.
I'm gonna throw this one out only because I know that my wife wants to go to this town,
Oh God.
Las Vegas.
Oh, I think you're gonna say Texas.
Oh.
That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, but see, you
I wouldn't camp in Texas. I'd go stay with
I
family.
would not camp in Vegas. I would get a room.
I would.
You
too.
got to enjoy the city.
Well, yeah, I know, but
Could you imagine taking your wife all the way out there to Vegas and you're
To
like, hey,
sleep
we're
in a
going
desert?
camping
In a
the
desert.
track. I know there's all these amazing resorts with all you can eat, but we're not going to go there. We'll be at the tent. It's
Okay,
a little
fine.
easier to
Fine,
convince
I'll
them when you're
switch
at
it.
a
Look,
triangle
Las
in the
Vegas
middle of
doesn't have any.
Pennsylvania.
Las Vegas doesn't have any grass, but they got like 6 bushes, and they're good-looking bushes. But that's it.
it'd be perfect. Okay, fine. I'll switch it to Phoenix just because then it'd be the
You know
the
what?
end.
I think Phoenix would actually be really fun. to
You know,
camp at.
Phoenix is
So
a cool
me and
town.
They have
Lindsay,
that's the one
me and
with
Lindsay
Rattlesnake.
went to.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well,
You
it's
could,
not
like, camp up
camping.
there,
It's
can't you?
it's just like a
Open.
viewing place.
It's like seating.
I don't know.
So
if
me
I
and
wanna camp
Lindsay, we
anywhere
went
that's
to
named after rattlesnake, so I'd be terrified.
when we went to Phoenix. There's 2 camping options around the racetrack or like in this big asphalt parking lot. And it's kind of like if
That
you're gonna
sounds horrible.
camp, like I don't get that about like at Daytona.
Let's see,
Like
Phoenix
like
can get to like
you got
120.
premium surface camping. I'm like it's asphalt. It's hot as hell in August. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. No
Good
thank
luck
you.
stumbling around and falling down. Like you're just.
I mean, we
you're
might
eating asphalt.
we might have to get towed out of our spot from the forklift because we get stuck in the mud.
It's
But
fine.
you know, at least we're not on
That
hot
was
asphalt.
not our fault. That was our neighbors. Again, we
Yeah.
can't tell that.
That's
So-
another good story.
So
that we can tell later.
Lindsay said the Glen Indy Coke 600.
The Glen. Oh my gosh,
The
that's
Glen
a
would be
good
cool.
one.
The Glen would be
At the
cool.
bus stop. Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Ryan's saying maybe New Hampshire might be fun.
What would be the ones you don't want to camp at?
Las
Let's
Vegas.
throw that out. Yeah, I guess Vegas would be. See, I would not want to camp at
not
Sonoma.
camp?
That sounds horrible. It is dry and dusty. It just sounds bad.
Yeah.
I would not want to camp at Sonoma.
I hear that the New Hampshire camping is one of the best. Like New Hampshire and Pocono, like when people say, like that's one of the best experiences. Just the weather,
Makes sense.
everything. There's a ton of on-track action for the Pocono weekend. You get 4 races, and then you have the New Hampshire weekend is 3 races with the modifieds.
I can
Yeah.
tell you where
So-
Modifieds are a lot
of
okay,
good
here's one
racing.
I would not want to do camping at. Chicago.
oh God.
The street course.
Yeah, because that means I'm homeless.
You're dumb.
You cannot jump in the fountain. That is not the map.
I think, man, I have to put the Glen right up there with Talladega. That's a good one.
Really?
Yeah.
The weather's beautiful that time of year. I like of all the
Gorgeous
road
area.
courses, the road course I want to go to the most is the Glen. I would love to go to the Glen. Are you kidding me?
Well, just listen. I just.
I don't know. It's just one of my favorite racetracks ever.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many thousands of laps I've done around the Glen.
A lot. All right. What's the other
Were
question?
any of them good?
Yeah, I actually got the IndyCar down pretty fast, bro. It's pretty nasty. All right, so he said, do you think Kyle Larson bumping Denny Hamlin today, I missed that, will be the end of it, or
Nope.
does he still owe Denny?
Nope, that was not the end.
I mean,
I missed it based off of his comments pre-race. Kyle Larson is a little upset that Denny was still standing on the hill of he didn't make contact and it wasn't his fault. It's Kyle Larson's fault because he didn't back out. So he was a little frustrated this morning on a couple interviews I saw.
Yeah.
He didn't really like that too much.
I don't
Understandably.
I don't think Larson. I don't think Larson's going to necessarily go out of his way to ruin Hamlin's race.
No,
And
but he'll
if-
probably, like
and
what
if
we
he
saw
does-
today, he's just going to start racing him like
and
a
if,
jerk.
I was saying, if he does, he's going to wait until the playoffs when Hamlin's in a point where he might get kicked out. That's what I
Kyle
think.
Larson doesn't strike me as the revenge type guy.
No,
No.
but I think if there is an opportunity there, I do think Larson will take it.
Because he'll be racing him hard.
Yeah.
see, I don't. There's a part of me that I don't think Larson will let it drag into the playoffs. I don't think he's that kind of guy. If he's gonna,
He's
if,
a big picture thinker.
I think he's just gonna. If there is going to be some kind of retaliation or some kind of I'm gonna get you back, it's gonna happen in the next 4 weeks, because I don't think he's
Settle the score before the playoffs. Go
Exactly.
into a clean slate.
clean
Yeah, it makes
slate,
sense.
end it, because you don't want to wreck Hamlin at the first race. You know, now Hamlin's in a bubble cutoff,
Yep.
and then you have another 12 races to worry about Hamlin knocking you out.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen before the playoffs, and it's gonna be scores settled, we're done, move forward. If it happens at all,
It could.
I don't see him.
I don't see him
if he was gonna
retaliating
do
and
it, it
putting
was
him
gonna
in the
be this
wall.
week.
Because like even what Hamlin didn't ruin his race. necessarily.
No.
I mean, he did lose a lot of track position for whatever, but it's not like he junked him like he did Ross and
Right.
caused
Yeah.
a huge wreck. That's different.
And that you could argue that what he did to Ross was somewhat justified because Ross had wrecked him all year. So like,
I mean, I'm not defending Ross on that. I mean,
Yeah,
but
so-
that's where that retaliation was equal to me. So I think based off what I'm hearing,
don't see
Kyle
him doing it
Larson's
at
just tired of getting raced like a dick, and now he's just gonna race him back
Yeah.
the same way. Like, because Kyle Larson races everybody like a freaking jerk.
Yeah,
even
Like, he always-
even Elliott.
Almost like what Denny Hamlin did to him last week. Kyle Larson does that to a lot of drivers. He
few
just
times throughout the year.
doesn't do it to Denny Hamlin because of their relationship, and then he tries to race pretty clean. But maybe that's going to go to the wayside going into
Maybe.
the playoffs because Denny Hamlin is going to be making a strong run this year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see either of those playing out. I definitely don't think it's over. I will say that. I think there's going to be
I
at
think it's
least
It
something
could
else.
keep building because if he races Denny like a jerk and Denny gets mad, could turn into
you
something.
can start getting frustrated too. I mean, Denny, this is third
Denny-
week in a
Denny's
row. Denny
always
Hamlin's
right.
had like either wins or top fives, and Larson has been falling
Larson-
back. He could probably start.
But
getting
Larson,
frustrated.
how many wins does Larson have this year?
Two?
Two or three? So he's pretty close to locked in for a ways into the playoffs.
He's already in the playoffs. He has
No,
2
I
wins.
mean like he's not in danger of coming out in the round of 16.
Oh,
or
no. He's probably worrying about
at
maybe
least
round of
8.
12, maybe 8.
I'd say he could
Yeah.
easily get to 8 probably without much worry.
If he doesn't mess up or
Yeah.
Hamlin doesn't race him hard.
So-
Side note, tech is complete. Busher is the winner.
Yeah, I don't.
I
Think,
wasn't
I don't
worried.
think Brad's messing with any more parts. I'm gonna be honest. I think he learned his lesson.
my lesson.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. So you guys got anything you want to say before we wrap everything up?
Nothing, man. I'm really excited for next week. I think Michigan's gonna be a really, really fun race. At least that's my hopes for it.
Yeah.
I think Harvick won it last year, so I mean, could be another surprise winner. Just saying, Harvick
He needs
could
to win.
happen.
He needs to go out with at least winning this year. Don't pull a Jimmy and not win.
I think Brad will win though.
That would be wild too. Get both RFK into the playoffs.
It could happen.
Like,
It's gonna happen.
they're on a streak. It very well could happen. So, all right, Jake.
Kyle Larson, 2 race wins too. Just to
Thank
confirm.
you, Internet Explorer.
Sorry. All right, fine. I just want to let you know. That's fine. Who won Michigan last year?
Kevin Harvick, were you listening? I just said
Sorry.
it.
Nope.
All right.
All right.
Jake, did you know Kevin Harvick won Michigan last year?
No way.
Yeah.
And we think Brad's going to win this year.
I think if Ford wins next week for sure.
It's gonna be RFK.
100%.
Yep.
I could really see RFK winning next.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could see it. Yeah. I
That's
could
like-
see them wanting
It's
to
not a super speedway,
establish
right?
themselves.
It's a 2 mile.
2 mile.
2. Yeah.
It's a lot like Auto Club. Very similar. Not as rough. I could see
Brad's gonna
them.
do it, bro.
I could see.
Or Kyle Busch is gonna
I
win it.
could see Brad really putting a lot of eggs in this basket to make
Could
sure
be.
he does good here.
I
Because
don't think he wants to take it to Daytona.
No, well, I don't think
Who
it's that.
does?
I think he's trying to with Stuart Haas kind
Austin
of
Dillon.
wavering. I could see RFK trying to establish them as the Ford team.
Yes.
You know,
Say, hey, look, our drivers are consistent. Our drivers are up top. We should be more of the
They said it in the
Ford.
broadcast. They're like, look, that's a team that has very, very good parity between the 2 cars.
Yes.
He's like, when they run bad, both run bad, but when they run good, they both run good.
You know what
and
I think that
generally,
no
has to do
doubt they're
with-
both getting the same stuff.
yeah,
You know what I think that has to do with egos, man. Because a lot of the
be.
crew chiefs and a lot of the drivers put in their 2 cents of, how they're going to run the cars instead of just, this is how the car should be ran, run it, and make your minor tweaks.
Some of that. I think every driver has their own style too. I think that's when everything switched to the high downforce, we saw Jimmy Johnson go from super low downforce, and he dominated everything. It was so good, and then went to super high downforce, and he was terrible. I think it just has a lot to do with how you drive the car, and I think maybe you see a lot of similarity between Brad and Buescher in the way they race, the way they carry themselves on the racetrack. You don't see when do you see Brad and Buescher getting in trouble with anybody?
Doesn't happen,
They
man. They're
don't.
cool, calm, and collective.
yeah.
The only trouble Brad gets into is on a road course by himself.
Yeah, that's true.
And
true.
on that lovely note, all right, guys, it's been fun. We'll check you guys next week, where hopefully Matt will be in a really good mood, but we'll see.
I'm going to be wearing my merch.
See ya.